First fleet in the world for E85 capable full hybrids. And then from there, this is what we announced a couple of months ago, is a collaboration with Southern California Edison Utility for a fleet of 20 vehicles. And this very vehicle is the first vehicle for the SCE fleet, which is a plug-in Escape hybrid. A little bit of introduction about what this is. This is out in production. This introduced about a year ago. We have two plug-in hybrid fleets or projects that we're working on. This is the first of the SCE fleet. And then Majid is going to talk to us a little bit about the Edge, which we call the High Series, which is also a plug-in hybrid. The one thing when you look at these two vehicles, you think there's a lot in common. In fact, we try to count the parts commonality between these two vehicles, and we came up with three things: the paint job, the door handles, and the battery cells. Those are the only common things between these two vehicles. So these are two very different vehicles. They're both plug-ins, but they're very different. And I'll explain a little bit this one, and then I'll turn it over to Majid to talk about the High Series a little bit later. As I mentioned, we just introduced this. This is taking the full hybrid Escape, which runs obviously on the battery power and engine power, and transforming that into a plug-in. It can go some up to 30 miles, 30-mile range. This is what we would call a blended hybrid. We call it a parallel system versus what Majid is going to talk about, which is a series hybrid. So that's the different plug-in hybrid. So this is a parallel plug-in, this is a series plug-in. And I'll explain a little bit. Some hybrid is taken basically a current full hybrid system, which is in Ford's case, it's a power split system. It runs electric, engine, or both. It adds a larger battery. In this case, it's a lithium ion. Gets the weight down. It's 10 kilowatt hour versus what we have on the current Escape, which is only 2 kilowatt hours. So if you look at the magnitude of the energy, it's 5 times as much from the battery standpoint. Because obviously, this vehicle will drive a lot more in electric mode versus an Escape hybrid or a full hybrid, which drives, the engine kicks in faster. So we've upgraded the cooling system that we're working on in the collaboration with SCE. Is we're trying to address the practicality of plug-in hybrids into production. And there are some challenges that the industry is facing. Just to name a few, one of the things that we need to make sure we get to is emissions capability, because the whole idea of hybrids is clean, green vehicles. So our target is to get to ATP-ZEV emissions capability. At this point, that's a challenge in the industry because you're running on electric most of the time, and when the engine comes on, it's cold, you're not cooling the catalyst, and there are a lot of issues compared to where you have the capability to run the engine right away. So emissions is one area. Another area is climate control for customer comfort. One of the things that's a challenge when you're running on electric mode, you can't use the conventional climate control system. Your engine is not running. How do you heat the interior of the vehicle? You can use electric heaters, PTC heaters, but then that absorbs more energy, which you're trying to avoid. The area is the battery durability. You're running the battery down, you're basically got a high energy battery, and you're trying to use up the energy, because to be cost effective for the customer, you want to be able to buy the vehicle, you're paying for the cost of the battery, and you want to use up the energy in the battery.